Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the numerology and the energy for February 2022. Before I get into the reading, this is, of course, a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. So as always, I'm going to take a deep dive into the numerology for the collective for the month of February. I highly recommend not skipping this part. This is why I don't put timestamps in these videos, because the numerology part of this reading is the bread and butter. This is what's sort of driving the energy. So please listen to this part. You're more than welcome to fast forward if you choose to, but just so you know, this is important. Okay. Then I will dive into the energy of each individual life path number. So let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so February is an 8 universal cycle. What's really interesting about this, so 8 energy is sort of governs the material plane. So think money, resources, power dynamics. Why this is so interesting that this is occurring, that this 8 cycle is occurring in February 2022 is because in astrology, we have the Pluto return for the United States going exact, I believe, on February 22nd, 2022. So that's 2222022. So that's a lot of twos, a lot of balance energy. So with this Pluto return for the US, no matter where you are in the world, what sort of happens in the US does have some sort of effect on the rest of the world. That's just sort of the way it is. And so this Pluto return is incredibly significant. And it only happens, I think, your Pluto return, I think, only happens once like every 248 years or something like that. It's we humans never see their Pluto return, but like companies, estates, countries will see a Pluto return, and it can be significant. And so I would highly, highly suggest, if you haven't already done so, find an astrologer and that you like, that you resonate with, and watch their videos on the upcoming Pluto return for the US, because you are going to feel the effects of that in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so that's why this is just kind of mind-blowing that we have this 8 universal cycle that's centered around money, resources, power dynamics, and then we have this Pluto return coming in February for the United States. And again, Pluto is all about death, transformation, rebirth. This could be the start of a major overhaul when it comes to money, resources, control, transfer of power, and so on, to sort of function more effectively. So this, of course, will take many, many years. This isn't something that happens on the day or that happens immediately, but it's the start of a transformation. It's the start of a death and a rebirth, a start of a major overhaul and rebalancing. And so I think that we're going to see that play out on the global scale. And we can start to see things changing and the dynamics changing because of that. Because anytime Pluto is involved, shit is about to get real. That's just, it's for our highest good, but it gets intense. It gets intense pretty fast, and things that aren't working will basically be plowed over, and then it's time to transform and have that rebirth. So it's an intense energy, and that will be with us for a while as far as Pluto is concerned. With the 8 energy, we have this cycle in February. And so this brings it into the individual dynamic, right? So we will feel this not only collectively, but individually. Whereas the Pluto will be more collective, the Pluto energy for the Pluto return for the US. Okay, so for February, for the collective and for the individual, again, February is an 8 universal cycle, and we can see the emphasis really going to be placed strongly on the physical plane. So especially when it comes to money matters and how we make money, how we circulate money, our relationship with money, and so on. The same with resources. If we have lessons to learn around 8 energy, we could see challenges or transformations come in around finances, distribution of wealth, resources, how we handle those resources. Remember, we are in a 6 universal year. So the emphasis throughout the year will be on the greater community and how the individual actions affect the whole. So this month, in February, is an opportunity to sort of take a deeper, more serious look at how we are using resources, how they're being distributed and circulated, starting with ourselves, within our own homes. So this is ultimately about finding a healthy balance where we aren't falling into some toxic level of an extreme. Sort of living in excess has its own consequences, good and bad, just like living in deprivation does. So where is your healthy balance between the two, and how can you contribute to the redistribution of wealth and resources to keep that energy flowing? That's going to be a question we need to be asking ourselves. This will all be emphasized on the global stage, as I mentioned, as well as individually. That's really important to keep in mind. So we are individually going to feel the effects of this 8 universal cycle in some way, shape, or form. So really use this cycle to evaluate your finances, your resources, and determine whether you are feeling centered and in a healthy place with this energy, or whether you have fallen into an extreme, right? So in an extreme, work with the energy of this 8 cycle to begin to find ways to get back into a state of equilibrium when it comes to your own personal finances, resources, and relationships with those energies. That's going to be really, really important. And I think you'll see it highlighted where it is that there needs some work or some redistribution, or some where there needs to be, again, just sort of like your attention, your awareness. This 8 cycle is also emphasizing personal power and inner strength. So where we're going to be, again, seeing on the global stage that power dynamics and redistribution of power and all of that, on the personal side of things, it's going to be emphasizing personal power and inner strength. So if there are any areas within your life where you are giving your power away, or where you are easily influenced by an external source, someone telling you what you should do and you doing that, you may be faced with some pretty powerful truths and challenges to help to assist you in reclaiming that power and becoming much more decisive and autonomous when it comes to your own life and the choices that you make for yourself. Nobody else on this planet is responsible for our life. So if there are any aspects of our journey where someone is trying to dictate or do something for us, something that we're fully capable of doing for ourselves, then this 8 energy will be pushing us to take on the responsibility of the direction of our own life. So I hear people say sometimes, I did this because so-and-so told me to, and it didn't work out, so it's their fault and I'm mad now, or I'm upset, or we're not friends any longer because I took it personally, or whatever. That scenario is an example of giving your power away and then blaming someone else for the consequences of your own actions. We have the final say when it comes to our decisions and our choices, whether we were influenced by another to make those choices or if we made them through our own decisiveness. Either way, if those choices work out or they don't, it's our responsibility to take ownership of the result, to be empowered to either celebrate the success or take responsibility for what didn't work out and clean up our own mess. So 8 energy isn't about passing the buck and passing the blame. It's about taking ownership and responsibility of one's own circumstances, picking ourselves up when we fall, and then finding ways to not keep making the same missteps so we don't keep falling in the same direction. And so this 8 energy is going to help to sort of emphasize where it may be within our life that we're doing that and where we can clean that up a little bit and start taking that responsibility. So if there are any areas within your life where you have knowingly or even unknowingly been giving your power away, this 8 cycle will sort of shed light on that area and make it very difficult to ignore until you make the decision and commit to stepping back into your own magnificence and your own power. This 8 energy is all about self-empowerment, not martyrdom. There's a difference. Remember, we can't do it for someone else without taking their power away. That's martyrdom. Support, yes, we can support other people, but we can't try to do it for them. Because again, it's in the doing for the person and not believing that they have the capability of doing it that we're actually taking their power away. We are detracting from them, right? From their own essence. Supporting someone to assist them and sort of showing them or reminding them of their power and allowing them or teaching them to do it for themselves is so much more powerful, right? That is empowerment. So I believe we will see power struggles play out on the global stage under this energy, but it also serves a bigger purpose to sort of eventually bring the power back to the people. So remember, this cycle will help to highlight where the imbalances of power lie so that the equilibrium can eventually be reached. And as always, it's what we choose to do with this energy and how we choose to participate with it that ultimately makes the difference in how the energy works for us. So this is going to be an interesting month. This is, like I said, with this Pluto dynamic happening for the US and hence globally. And then we've got this 8 energy coming in. This could be a very intense month. This can be a month of transformation when it comes to, again, money, power, resources, or it can be a month where you start to see the sort of start reaping the rewards for some of the efforts that you've put in. Maybe you see an influx of money coming in, resources. Maybe you feel like you're stepping into your power. This can be like you stepping on the other side of that transformation. Maybe you've already been doing this work, and so you're fully stepping into it and sort of reaping the rewards of taking the reins back within your own life. So you can certainly see that show up as well. But for others, if you're struggling with, again, giving your power away or struggling with falling into the extremes of something within the physical realm, then this month might be a little bit more about the transformations and the challenges to help you to overcome those situations and to, again, regain what is rightfully yours, your power, your resources, and to circulate those resources and that money. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the life path number. Life path 33-6. So I pulled an animal spirit card for you all, and you got Emu Spirit. And Emu's message to you for February is, this is a good time to go on a new adventure. So I love this for you all, and looking at the energy for the month ahead, I can definitely see, now again, remember, this is a general reading, so this isn't going to be relevant for every 33-6, but I can definitely see where you've got the finances or the resources to be able to take this big adventure or to go on this trip or whatever this is, to go on this new adventure. So if you have something that comes in this month for you where you can travel, where you can start something new, where you can take a big risk, where you can do something that is outside of your comfort zone, but that takes you on a new adventure, whether that's body, mind, or spirit, I say do it. Because you are definitely supported in that. And I think what you will discover on that new adventure is a side of yourself that maybe you haven't seen before, or maybe hasn't come out to play for a while. And so definitely entertain any opportunity for trips or, again, adventures, body, mind, spirit. And I would say, without putting yourself into a situation that doesn't make sense, obviously. But if it's about splurging, maybe it's time to splurge. Maybe it's time to spend a little bit of extra money on yourself to go on this adventure, whatever this is. And again, it doesn't necessarily have to be like an actual physical adventure. It can be like, I don't know, taking a free online course or taking a class, learning a new language, whatever speaks to you. But there's something here about doing something new, doing something outside of maybe your comfort zone, doing something that you've been thinking about doing for a while, but maybe you haven't allowed yourself to do it because of time, money, resources, whatever. But I feel like this is the month to do it. So if there's something that you've been on the fence about and really wanted to dive into and try, and it's been something new and exciting, I say do it. So, and this month's energy is very supportive of that. So when I look at the beginning of the month of February for you all, there's definitely something coming in here about like independent wealth, things coming to fruition, seeing the return of your investments, seeing the return of your efforts, seeing prosperity because of your past efforts. So there's definitely something coming in here where it's like you aren't having to rely on anyone when it comes to your financial stability at this point. So this could be like, again, this is more like earned income. This isn't necessarily like inheritance or winning the lottery or something like that. This is something that you have worked for. So this could be a promotion, a raise, a bonus, something like that. But something that's like, again, in direct proportion to the effort that you've put forth type of thing. And so whatever this is, I would say instead of like getting it and hoarding it away, use this and reinvest in yourself, right? Like you created this windfall, this bounty, whatever it is. So reinvest it in yourself. So if you've always wanted to learn a second language, reinvest this money into learning a second language, as opposed to being like, okay, I need to put this away for retirement. Maybe take a portion of it, put it away for retirement if that makes you feel better. But don't put it all away. Use this money and reinvest it in yourself for yourself. I think that you will get a lot of satisfaction out of that and a lot of gratification. So definitely explore that. Mid-month, this is interesting energy. This is like, this is like a push-pull energy, sort of. There's like a part of you that wants to be really like, I don't know, perfect isn't the word, but you know what I mean? Like wants to be really responsible, wants to like do things the way that you're supposed to do them, wants to stay within the lines and all that sort of thing, right? It's like this kind of very like stricter energy. There's a part of you that wants to adhere to that, but then there's also a part of you that wants to be a little bit risky, that wants to break the rules, that wants to play a little bit, that wants to be a little risque, you know what I'm saying? And I would say find your balance between the two and have some fun. But find your healthy balance, right? You don't want to fall into an extreme here because obviously there's consequences of those actions, right? But I would say find your healthy balance here and don't overly restrict yourself, and don't throw complete caution to the wind and just blow everything up, you know what I'm saying? But there's definitely going to be a feeling here, I think, of like wanting to do something new and exciting, which goes back to emu spirit of like that adventure, right? But there's definitely going to be that side of yourself that wants that, but then there's also going to be that like responsible sort of fatherly figure of yourself that's like, nope, we got to pay all the bills and save all the money and blah, 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 blah. But then there's going to be a part of you that's like, oh, I want to just like throw caution to the wind and like go away on a like spontaneous adventure this weekend or whatever. So you just have to find the happy medium between the two and do both. You know what I'm saying? Like be responsible, but also give into that side of yourself that wants to just let your hair down and just be and just have fun and be irresponsible for a weekend or a day or an hour or whatever. You know what I mean? Like 33s, I think sometimes can be, well, 6s in general, and that is your life path ultimately, but can be very, very responsible and feel like they're taking on the world and the responsibilities of the world and they have to be perfect and all those things. And that can really start to eat at you and create resentment and all of that. And so there's this part of you, and I think it's more like your inner child coming out that's like, let's just eat the cake. Let's just go whatever, you know what I mean? Let's call in sick. I'm not condoning calling in sick, whatever. You know what I mean? Like if you're not sick, blah, blah, blah. Actually, I am. Do what your heart is asking you to do, especially in the middle of the month. And I don't think you're going to regret it. You know what I'm saying? If you need a day, take a day. If you need to go and do something you've never done before, go and do it. Go have fun, be responsible with the action, but have fun with it. It doesn't have to be either extreme. Okay. And I will also reiterate that Emu has come in to say, this is a good time to go on a new adventure. So don't overly restrict yourself at this time. Then we move into the end of the month, and this is beautiful energy. Like I said, you guys are like surrounded by like money and resources and good fortune and wealth and all these things. So I feel like there's going to be some things coming in for you that's going to allow you to sort of get set up pretty nicely here. Again, it's a general reading. So for some, it may come in as challenges, right? That you have to overcome, and then you reap the rewards. But for some, there's something here where it's like, if there's something you've been struggling with, I feel like the table's turning here. Things are going to get a little bit easier. You're going to see the support come in, the resources, the funding, whatever you need to be able to make happen whatever it is that you're trying to make happen. It could feel like it falls out of the sky type thing. Whereas the beginning of the month is feels like more like earned income. You put in the effort, you're reaping those rewards. End of the month sort of feels like a windfall, like something coming in. It doesn't have to be money, but it can be like resources. It can be like somebody doing something for you, someone offering, like someone wins a cruise and they don't want to go on the cruise because they have other obligations. So they give you the tickets to the cruise, and now you get to go on that adventure and you didn't have to pay anything for it. You see what I'm saying? So like end of the month sort of feels like that, or like the right people show up at the right time and sort of make things feel just easier. That's the kind of energy that's really circulating the end of the month. So don't feel guilt or shame for taking advantage of that, whatever that is. If someone's like, hey, I want to give you this trip to Switzerland because I can't go and it's already paid for, don't feel shame and remorse and guilt around that and feel like you have to reciprocate or pay for something. They are offering because they want to and because they can. So don't don't bring in a lower frequency around something that's so high frequency. Say yes to it. Enjoy it, take advantage of it, and be grateful for it, and enjoy. That's what I'm saying. Like, just allow yourself to enjoy it. So really, really beautiful, powerful energy coming in this month for you all. It's going to be a matter of like you sort of like loosening the reins on yourself a little bit and not being so restrictive, and just really like just embracing what comes in for you, because this is such beautiful energy this month. That it would be a shame not to take advantage of it. And if you, like I said, if you have an opportunity or make the opportunity to go on a new adventure, body, mind, or spirit, do it. This is the perfect month to do it for you all. So I hope this was helpful. Thank you all so much for listening. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.